Good evening and welcome to Scituate, Rhode Island. Tonight we have the Scituate Spartans taking on the Mount Pleasant Kilties. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. I'm going to be your play-by-play, Nick Carlson. Joining me is my technical producer, Aaron Fonseca, and joining me on camera, Donna Smith. Tonight we have the 2-1 Spartans taking on the 3-3 Kilties. The Spartans having a little bit of an off season as COVID kind of got in the way of the beginning of their season, but the team is back nonetheless, and they are back ready to play. Today's game is actually sponsored by the Rhode Island Army National Guard, so shout out to them. And it looks like we're getting ready to get underway. Kilties send a little ball over. It just manages to catch the line, and the Kilties are on the board to start the game. Scituate attack goes soaring out to the right of the court. 2-0 Mount Pleasant. Scituate is now on the board. And that ball finds the middle of the floor, giving Mount Pleasant possession. Scituate heading back to serve. The ball skims over the net, and that will be a service ace for the Spartans. The Spartans again with another serving ace. That'll be a double on the Scituate setter. And as Scituate finds the open spot for the kill, that'll push them in the lead. That serve just a little too long, so that'll miss the back line. We'll have the Mount Pleasant first sub of the game. Mount Pleasant with an amazing net awareness. Scituate able to play that back over and just had enough to get the line. That'll be another Spartan service ace. And another kill will find the back line, as the Spartans are just extending their lead right now. That'll be a service error. Have repeated service errors, and Scituate will go back on the serving line. Scituate with another service ace, as the Spartans are starting to open up the scoring here. Scituate gets the kill on the smart little tip over. Mount Pleasant got a touch to it, but just wasn't able to get it up. And Mount Pleasant fires back with a kill. Block at the net by Mount Pleasant. Ball will hit the floor and give them the point. A little bit of a mixed communication there from Mount Pleasant, as that ball will land in the court. A jump serve from the Scituate libero that happens to go just a little long. An amazing putback by the Mount Pleasant middle. That ball will sail out. Mount Pleasant closing the gap here, only trailing by 2. The back row attack from the Spartans, finding the ground. So the Spartans will make another substitution. Miscommunication here on the side of Mount Pleasant as that ball will hit the net and drop. Serving error on the Spartans. Mount Pleasant will drop back to serve. The Spartans with another serving ace as they climb out to a 6-point lead, 18-12. Spartans with another serving error, and they will be making a substitution. Be another serving error on Mount Pleasant. Ball will go back to Scituate. Little bit of a miscommunication there on the Scituate side of the net as that ball will drop. Another service error. And Scituate will make a substitution. Scituate back to a 6-point lead as they're looking to close out this first game. Smart move from the Spartans middle. Seeing the gap. Just able to tip that ball right in the middle of the court. Mount Pleasant unable to contain that service. That'll force Scituate to match set point. And Scituate will take set one. Final score 25-16. Welcome back to Scituate, Rhode Island, as we have volleyball. We have the Scituate Spartans taking on the Mount Pleasant Kilties. For those of you just tuning in, welcome to the Sports Fans Only Network. Correction, Fans Only Sports Network. And we would like to thank the Rhode Island Army National Guard for sponsoring today's game as we get ready for set number 2. As that first attack from Scituate, just a tad bit out. We'll have another Service error. The Spartans tried to go line on that attack and just happened to go out of bounds. That'll extend the Mount Pleasant lead to 3-1. Amazing diving save by one of the Mount Pleasant players, but that just redirected out of bounds. Amazing heads-up play by the Scituate middle. Able to get a touch on that and redirect that back down to the floor. Scituate with their first serving ace of set 2. Scituate with a second straight serving ace. That attack from Mount Pleasant just out of bounds. Miscommunication there from the Scituate defense as that ball will land in between the players. Mount Pleasant trying to extend their winning streak as their last match they knocked off. As they knocked off Cuffey in 3 straight sets. Scituate heads back to the serving line. As that ball is deflected up into the ceiling, comes back down, and Mount Pleasant unable to make anything of it. that ball will go soaring out of bounds, and Mount Pleasant will head to the serving line.
Matt's on. I sent you the Venmo. Matt's on his way. Just to come chill.
Scituate just sending that ball out of bounds. Mount Pleasant will take the lead 10-9. As another attacking error from Scituate. Got a bit of an interesting tip over from Mount Pleasant. Scituate unable to make anything of the attack. And Mount Pleasant will now extend their lead. Mount Pleasant with an amazing show of patience at the net, just waiting for that ball to drop, finding the hole.
Get there and have your hands up ready. Get there fast. Go quick. Hands up, ready. Back up.
The Kilties doing an amazing job at the front of the net, able to put some balls back over, making the Spartans move a little bit, as they will have a 5-point lead. The Kilties gaining some momentum here, extending to a 6-point lead.
Say it louder. Got it. Say it more than one time. Follow the ball. Follow the ball. That is out. Please, get up.
The Spartans had a ball high in the ceiling. I'm not sure how too well our camera captures the building in here, but this is an incredibly low ceiling for a volleyball game. Miscommunication here from the Kilties, and that ball will drop, ending their run, but still sitting with a 6-point lead.
There we go. Nice passes. Let's focus.
Another serving error from the Spartans.
Go, Kelsey. Hey, confidence, Kelsey.
We will have, I believe, the first serving ace from Mount Pleasant.
Who said you can't serve? Boom! There you go. Oh, you ready?
Have a lift call on the Mount Pleasant middle.
You ever seen it? That's a helicopter. Making some waffles, you know. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Nicole, find her hitting hand.
Scituate trying to close the gap here as they trail by 6.
Hey, we need a good pass. Easy, seven. Oh my God.
So that ball is just skyrocketed into the ceiling here, and that will force the out of bounds. We will have another lifting call on Mount Pleasant. It's a little bit of an interesting call, as that was straight contact. There was no lift or carry to the ball whatsoever. So the Spartans are starting to close the gap here. 18-15 the score. Mount Pleasant on the correction. Scituate on the serving line. Mount Pleasant with a ball back on one, finding the middle of the court, and caught the Spartans sleeping. Kilties will make a substitution. The Kilties, I believe that will be recorded as a kill. And the Kilties are back to a 5-point lead as the Kilties look to catch things up. We will have another Mount Pleasant serving ace.
Who's the hitter, Nicole? Find it. Be ready. Hey, practice passing with your feet. Give a good pass.
Mount Pleasant unable to return that serve, giving Scituate another serving ace, and we will have the first time out of the game taken by Mount Pleasant. While we have a second, for those of you just tuning in, welcome to the Fans Only Sports Network. Thanks for tuning in to Division IV Rhode Island Girls Volleyball, as we have the Scituate Spartans in blue taking on the Mount Pleasant Kilties in red. We would like to thank the Rhode Island Army National Guard and Scituate High School for helping set up this game. The Spartans taking set 1, 25-16. And the second set has been all Kilties, but the Spartans are still hanging in there. They are only down by 4. Have a roofing call on Scituate. Scituate head coach doesn't seem to agree with the call, but the referee will not change his mind. Amazing rally from Mount Pleasant, able to keep that ball up and find the open spot on the court. As Mount Pleasant inching towards set point.
Let's go. Just gotta work. Work harder. Cover each other. Cover each other. Got it. Come on, get there. Still good. Still good. Still good.
Scituate able to keep that ball up. Mount Pleasant able to get that ball over, but will happen to soar out of bounds.
Hey, follow through. Follow through.
Scituate will head to the service line.
Close to your target, all right? Hey, time to step up. Let's go. Time to step up. Step up your game. Out.
Have another service ace by the Spartans.
Maya, use your hand.
So that ball took a weird bounce off the tape there.
Set. Drop the block. Too late. Easy, easy.
That ball will go out of bounds. The Scituate libero watching that go out. It
Nice pass.
as that ball is blocked at the net by the triple block. Believe that was the middle for Scituate getting the block. She will be given the block as a solo block, actually. Scituate closing the gap here. And a service error from the Spartans will set Mount Pleasant up at set point.
Stay down. Stay disciplined. There you go, Nicole. Cover Natty's back.
Heads up play by the Scituate libero. The Kilties ready for it and had the whole back half of the court to swing at. And the Kilties will take set 2, 25-21, as we are knotted back up at 1. Welcome back to Scituate High School for Division 4 girls volleyball. Scituate High School taking on Mount Pleasant. So we are tied at 1 set apiece. And an attacking error from Scituate. Mount Pleasant will take an early lead. Miscommunication there from Mount Pleasant as that ball hits the floor, and we are all tied up at 1 apiece. A one-handed set from Mount Pleasant that looked to be all wrist. The referee calls it hand, equaling a lift penalty. Scituate will get the point. This is not the first time this has happened to Mount Pleasant. As that attack goes too long. Mount Pleasant able to get it over, just landed out of bounds. As that ball will hit the tape and drop out of bounds for another Spartan service error. Mount Pleasant will head to the service line. Scituate trying to run that ball down, but did not get it. Ball sent back. Scituate able to slam that back down on the Mount Pleasant back line. That'll be a kill for the Spartans, and we have a Kilty down on the floor. While we have a moment, I would like to thank the Rhode Island Army National Guard and Scituate High School for helping put this game together. As the injured Mount Pleasant player makes her way off the court, Mount Pleasant will have to make a substitution. And the Spartans with another service ace. And the Kilties able to put a ball on the floor. And Scituate will make another substitution. Scituate unable to track down that ball after it was tipped at the net. As Mount Pleasant trying to close the gap here. High serve going into the back. And the Scituate middle able to find the line. And that serve will go under the net for another Scituate service error. And Mount Pleasant will head to the service line. And that'll be a Mount Pleasant service ace, as the libero got a little confused on where that back line was. Going to have a timeout here from Mount Pleasant. Scituate will make a substitution as we come back from the timeout. Scituate still have 2 timeouts left. Mount Pleasant with 1. Scituate trying to get back into the win column today after their most recent loss to Woonsocket in 3 straight sets. Mount Pleasant trying to extend that winning series to 2, as another service error will find the net and Mount Pleasant will go to serve. Scituate libero sending the ball over, getting the kill.
Hey, we're only down 2 now. Hey, we're receiving. Amaya, what are you doing? Back up, Aaliyah.
Mount Pleasant a little lost on their receiving formation, as that ball will hit the net for another Spartans service error. So that ball is sent back from the Mount Pleasant setter. So that ball will hit the floor. That'll be a serving ace for Virginia Ellingworth. That ball thought landed in. Referee called out. That ball had at least a good 5 inches of court before it even got to the line, but nonetheless, Mount Pleasant will go to serve. That ball for sure is out. One of the many challenges provided by COVID for Rhode Island interscholastic leagues is for volleyball there can only be one referee, and that referee is on the top of the stand on the far side of the court. Normally there would be a referee down here in the bottom in front of the scorer's table, and then 2 players on opposite corners. Scituate unable to get that ball over, and the Kilties will take a 2-point advantage. And that attack is crushed by number 16, Emma LaPlante. Gonna have a substitution here. Coming off the court is going to be Libby Dumas, and coming on is going to be Sophie Pedro. As Dumas' serve goes into the net for another Spartan service error. Mount Pleasant with another service ace. So that ball is blocked at the net by LaPlante. That is LaPlante's 3rd block of the game. And as Rhiannon Walsh's serve goes into the net, Mount Pleasant will take over. Had another substitution. Walsh coming off and coming onto the court. As the Mount Pleasant player does a dance move around that ball as that will sail out of bounds. Wonderfully demonstrated by the coach. Mount Pleasant with another service ace. Going to have a double called on the Mount Pleasant setter. LaPlante will go back to serve. She has been causing this Mount Pleasant team trouble all night. And we'll have a miscommunication between the Mount Pleasant setter and right side. So that ball will just drop between the two. Spartans trying to close this lead. The Kilties lead by 3. As the Kilties couldn't handle that serve from LaPlante, that'll be another service ace for the Spartans, and the second timeout called by Mount Pleasant. LaPlante serve going into the net.
Aim for the middle.
That'll be another service error from Scituate, as the Kilties are trying to finish this set out. We have a collision mid-court between a few Spartans. Everyone seems to be okay, as that ball will hit the floor. Mount Pleasant with a 4-point lead. High knuckling serve, that will make it over, and that goes into the net, unable to be sent back over by the Spartans.
Control your body. Girls, control your body up front.
High spinning serve, and it will just miss the back line. Scituate will make another substitution. Libby Dumas coming back onto the court. Coming off, it's going to be Sophie Pedro. Dumas with a jump float, and that will be another service ace for the Spartans. Mount Pleasant able to get that back over, but the attack will go out of bounds in front of the Scituate fans. Mount Pleasant getting the kill as that ball hits the tape, bounced over the two Spartans and managed to hit the court. As Mount Pleasant is trying to close the door on the Spartans for this third set. High knuckling serve once again hits the tape, and the Spartans unable to make anything of it, as the Kilties are on set point. And the Kilties will close out set 3 with that final kill as they take a 1-set lead. Final score 25-20. And as we come back to Scituate High School, tonight we have the Kilties of Mount Pleasant taking on the Spartans of Scituate. Getting right underway here for set number 4. As the Kilties trying to keep this alive, and that ball will hit the floor. The Kilties are trying to get something going here, trying to close out this game. Have a mishit from the Kilties. That ball will fall short. As the Spartans record a service ace after that ball just hit the tape and took all the momentum out of the ball. That ball just dropped right before the 10-foot line. Another Spartan service ace. The Kilties put an attack on the ground just out of the reach of Illingsworth.
Good job of moving your feet. So get there early and get there fast. Don't wait. Don't wait. See it. Wait.
LaPlante swings through and finds the hole between the Kilties' defense.
Build that Mount Pleasant wall. That was a good swing, though.
Back to serve now for Scituate. It's going to be Maialucci. Spartans with a mishit. That ball will fall to the floor as Mount Pleasant will go back to serve.
There you go. You got half of that until here. See it. Wait for it. Get off now. Get off. Let someone. Please. Come on, help her. Put it up. Send it.
Kilties unable to make anything of that play as that ball was hit straight into the net, but right above it, Emma LaPlante ready. Rhiannon Walsh for the Spartans recording another service ace.
More to the line.
As the Spartans looking to force to game 5. Illingworth losing where the line was as that ball just lands flat on the line. That'll be a point for Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant with another service ace.
Be ready, Leah. Be confident.
As the Kilties are trying to close the gap.
Cover each other.
Set to LaPlante. LaPlante finding the space. And another kill for the Spartans. LaPlante back with another serve, and that ball will sail off the court. And Scituate Volleyball is back in action on Monday night at 6:30 versus Shea right here on Fans Only Sports Network, presented by the Rhode Island Army National Guard. As the Mount Pleasant will have another service error. So Mount Pleasant able to track that ball down to the bleachers and put that back into play, and Scituate fires that ball right out of bounds. Gonna have a timeout here taken by Mount Pleasant as they look to talk things over. Coming out of the timeout, Mount Pleasant has one remaining. Scituate has both timeouts still remaining. As the Kilties trying to close the gap here.
Get off, get off.
So that ball is mishandled by the setter.
Push, Nicole, push, get it to her.
And that'll move the Spartans' lead up to 4.
Go back. Aaliyah and Nicole.
So it's Madison Gessier on the service line. Gessier's serve will hit the net for another Spartan service error. That ball is fought for at the net. Believe that should have been a net call, as the net is just bouncing up and down. Nonetheless, no call was given, and Scituate unable to play the ball. As a mishit from the service line, and that'll move the Scituate lead up to 3. As Illingsworth heads back to the service line. And her serve will also hit the tape and drop down for a service error. The Spartans unable to track that ball down, as that took a weird deflection off of Illingworth. Be a Mount Pleasant service ace. The Kilties close the gap. Scituate lead by 1 with Maya Lucci on the service line. That ball deflected off of the hands of Emma LaPlante, but landed in the court. We are tied at 12. Miscommunication from Mount Pleasant as that ball will land in the court with plenty of room. And the Spartans taking the lead. Rhiannon Walsh on the back line serving for the Spartans as her serve gets mishandled by the Kilties. Walsh has been one of the big serving threats tonight for the Spartans. As another one of her serves is, as the Kilties had trouble with it, Illingworth looking down at the line, making sure that ball was definitely out. And the Spartans are now climbing to a 3-point lead. Walsh with another serve. And the Kilties are unable to make anything of it. Walsh on a 6-point serving run. Her ball just barely making it over the net as the Kilties are able to put it back over. Emma LaPlante finding the open spot in the Kilties defense for another kill. Walsh with another deep serve. The Kilties weren't really ready for that. They were playing more short than anything. The Spartans surge out to a 6-point lead as Walsh just continues to hammer the serves in. Kilties unable to get that ball over as the setter wanted to go over on 2. Kilties go over on 2. Ball is tipped over by Sophie Pedro. Madison Gessier tries to attack the ball. It just happens to hit the tape. Coming off the court is Rhiannon Walsh. Coming onto the court. Apologies, we don't have her name. As the Kilties record another serving ace. LaPlante finding the space on the floor. Emma LaPlante will go back to serve for the Spartans as the Spartans need to win this set to force a set 5. LaPlante with a high serve. Just happened to be mishandled by Mount Pleasant. As that serve is mishandled and sent back to the scorer's table. As the Spartans look to slam the door on the Kilties. LaPlante's serve is mishandled, and that will be a double on the Kilties. As the Spartans are just 2 points away from sending this to set 5. Kilties with a back row attack. Happened to be a mishit and hit the net. As the Spartans are on set point, Emma LaPlante to serve. The Kilties able to put it back over. LaPlante to Lucci. Swung on by Gressier. The Spartans able to get the ball over. Joust at the net. That ball will hit the floor. That was blocked at the net by Emma Larsch. And the Spartans will force a set 5. As we head to set 5, for those of you who aren't familiar with the volleyball rules, set 5, it will not be to 25. It will be first to 15, win by 2, and we will have a coin toss at center court with the team's respective captains. The referee going over the rules with both players. The one big thing between these two teams is the bench size. Mount Pleasant only has 8 girls on the roster and another 8 on the JV roster, where Scituate has plenty of legs to go. So I believe Mount Pleasant won the coin toss. I believe they will be serving, as this game will only go to 15. Once again, this game is sponsored by the Rhode Island Army National Guard. Big shout out to them for helping put this game together, and Scituate High School for also helping out. And as we are back in Scituate for Division 4 girls volleyball, Scituate Spartans in blue, Mount Pleasant Kilties in red. We are in set 5. Score is first to 15, as the Kilties will be serving first. Illingworth unable to handle the serve, and that will be a Kilties serving ace. Scituate Volleyball is back in action on Monday night at 6:30 p.m. versus Shea right here on the Fans Only Sports Network, presented by the Rhode Island Army National Guard. As the Kilties serve will go into the net. Illingworth back to serve. That ball will be sent back into the net by the Kilties. Illingworth, the serve is handled by the Kilties. Emma LaPlante with a swing that will go long out of the back of the court. The Spartans looking to push to 2-2 on the season. Mount Pleasant looking to break over 500. Mialucci looks to get fancy and tip it over. Does not work, and that ball will hit the net. Emma LaPlante takes the serve. No Spartans around to help her out. Emma LaPlante with another kill as Mount Pleasant is unable to match her height. Back on the service line for Scituate, Mialucci. She's looking to give the Spartans a little bit of a lead. And she will with the service ace. Found the hole in the middle of the Kilties' defense. So that ball just drops down. Emma LaPlante switching it up, going cross court. As the Spartans tie it up at 5 apiece. As the Kilty setter unable to get that ball over the wall of the Spartans. Looking around the league, we have other games going on. We have Tiverton and Woonsocket, PCD versus Cuffy, and Times Squared Academy versus Davies Career and Tech. So Spartans' attack is blocked, but just had enough to make it over the net. We'll have another Spartans ace by Rhiannon Walsh. We will have a timeout taken by the Kilties. As we come back from the timeout, the Spartans lead 8-5 in set 5. Set 5 is always first to 15, not 25. And the Spartans with another service ace via the hand of Rhiannon Walsh. Walsh has been one of the big names for the Spartans tonight, as her serve will go out of bounds. But Walsh has been one of the bigger names for the Spartans tonight as she led the Spartans on a 9-point service run to lead them to a set 4 win to force set 5. Mount Pleasant on the service line. So that ball is mishandled by LaPlante and sent over by Illingsworth. And that ball will be deflected for a Spartans point. And the Spartans are 5 points away. Emma LaPlante back on the service line for the Spartans. She sends that a little off target. The Kilty's able to put it over. Gessier's attack unable to make it over. The Kilty's trying to close the gap here in this pivotal set 5 match. The Spartans managed to put every attack back over. Gessier's attack goes into the net once again. As Mount Pleasant is closing the gap to within 2. Kilty's serve barely makes it over the net. Spartans trying to put something together here. As Emma Larsh's attack goes unanswered. Spartans are back on the attack.
Hey, let's get the ball back. We're good. Let's focus on the next ball. Pass up. Hands out in front.
Carissa Katoya back on the line for the Spartans as her serve will be mishandled. Trying to do a little, almost what appeared to be a jump float, just happened to be thrown a little too far. And we are back to within 2. As the Kilty's trying to bring this game back to even.
Back up.
Madison Gessier going cross court, just happened to be off the fingertips of one of the Kilties. Rhiannon Walsh coming back onto the court as Madison Gessier heads to the service line. So that ball will be high and soaring out of bounds. The Kilties unable to put it back in play. The Spartans are 2 points away. That ball tight to the net. That ball will be swung on by Rhiannon Walsh a little too antsy as she will hit the net. And that'll be a Mount Pleasant point. Mount Pleasant down 3. Trying to claw their way back into this. As Rhiannon Walsh's attack goes soaring out of bounds into the bleachers. Spartans trying to get the ball back to their possession. As the Kilties were able to keep that going, they will rule no touch on the net, and that will drop for 4 hits. Virginia Illingworth on the service line for the Spartans. Match point. Her serve will actually hit Mia Lucci, which I believe it hit her in the hand. And the Kilties will live to see another point. Mount Pleasant trying to get within. So that ball will go out of bounds. Mount Pleasant needing one more serve to force a deuce. So that ball is tipped over by the Spartans. That will be a block by Emma LaPlante to close the door on the Kilties. The Spartans will improve to 2-2 on the season, and the Kilties will fall to 3-4 on the year. From everybody here in the broadcast booth, I'm Nick Carlson. Big shout out to Aaron on the technical side and Don Smith helping out with our camera. Also shout out to Matthew Joels joining us here late throughout the game. From all of us in the booth, we would like to wish you a good night and thanks for watching.